Yo, what's up everybody, it's Vikton here with my first currency making strategy guide of 3.21, my boss farming strategy that I'm going to be running myself for the first 3 to 4 days of the league. And I wanted to share it with you guys in case anybody else is doing it. I know a lot of people are playing my Ice Spear Totems build, which is a bosser, so might as well show you guys what I'm doing in case you want to do it and make some good currency. So what I'll do here is show you everything that you need to know to get this up and running. We're going to go over the Atlas passive tree, of course. We're going to go over the map mod, the Scarabs, the Sextants, and then of course just the actual strategy that I'm doing in the first place. I also have a second tree and a second strategy to share with you guys that's a little bit different, that's a little bit easier, so not as gear dependent. If you don't have, really good gear yet, you can do this second strategy and still make good currency. Okay, so let's just hop straight into it. It's going to be a short and sweet video. So what we're going to be doing is our actual strategy here is we're going to be doing the good old Shaper Guardians rotation. As a boss killer, this is very easy to do and it is very profitable the first 4 or 5 days of a league. What we're going to do is run all Shaper Guardians. We're going to have Maven watch them. So that's going to be Minotaur, Chimera, we hate Chimera, but we're going to have to do it, Chimera, Hydra, and Phoenix, right? We're going to do all 4 of those. Maven's going to watch it, so that we're then going to do the Formed Invitation, which is very good. We're going to juice it up, and we're going to get all the splinters that we can for Maven. We're not going to run Maven. We're going to sell the Maven's Writs for very consistent profit. After we do the Formed Invitation, we're then going to go do Shaper. Our build is very good at doing Shaper very early on with very minimal gear, and not a lot of people can do Shaper this early on in a league, so we're going to be making a ton of currency. Even stuff like the Flask, the Dying Sun, sells for 60 to 100 chaos in the first few days of the league, and then after day 4 or 5 it drops down to like 20 chaos. So I mean, that's a huge steal, very big profits. And then yeah, we're going to repeat that. We're going to go right back to the Shaper Guardians and do it all again. Now there's a couple things that are nice about this league compared to last leagues that makes it even more profitable for us. If you guys didn't know, I think this was a last league change. All of the Shaper Guardians drop a ton of Shaper items, right? Bases, and they're high level bases as well. So they're going to drop, very high level swords, bows, whatever. And all this league is about is getting weapons and shields to get the skill trees on, right? And getting high item level of those weapons as well, so they can have the best skill trees possible. So we're going to be farming bases. We're going to be farming these bases that are really high eye level, and it just prints so many. You're going to get so many high level good bases to sell for these skill trees. So that's going to be another strat that we're doing. And we are also going to add in Abyss this league. Abyss did get changed, and it is potentially juicy. Not really sure. We're going to have to do a little testing on it. I think it's going to be pretty juicy for a couple reasons. One reason is that it is, where is it? Stygian Spires your map drop items with +1 to item level, right? So again, we're just getting high item level gear that we're selling for bases. That's literally what we're doing. Like Stygian Vises, high level of those sell really well, really early on, and even throughout the whole league, even towards the end of the league, you can sell a high level Stygian base for like 10 chaos, 8 to 10 chaos. Like that's really good, and especially early on. And we're going to be printing these. We're going to be absolutely printing these belts, because we're going to be getting 100% chance to get a Stygian Spire in every single abyss that we do, unless it leads to a depth, which is obviously very good, because the abyss bosses that you're going to get in maps are now even more juicy. They have upgraded all of the uniques for the abyss bosses, and they're juicy now, so it should be selling even more for those unique items. So that should be a good source of income. And on top of that, if you don't get that boss, you at least get the Stygian Vise, which you should sell, and then you get a whole bunch of other loot which you can sell, and all of that's going to be 1 item level higher, and you're going to be getting a ton of these, like right here. So what, like let's see here, abysses in your map that don't lead to an abyssal depth have at least 3 pits, right? And then another one have at least 4 pits if you go all the way here. So it's just going to be a ton of abysses, a ton of spires, and it's going to be printing bases for us pretty good. And I think the uniques are also going to be selling pretty well. And on top of that, it's not too bad for the maps that we're doing, the Shaper Guardian maps. All of those maps are very straight. You just run straight to the boss. So there's not a lot of winding around for these abysses. It's pretty straightforward, and you can get them done pretty fast. So I think that'll work good for our map as well. If you can check these nodes out right here as well, these should help us out quite a bit too. From what I've read online, the base chance for that formed invitation to drop is about 16 to 17%. Not 1,000% sure on that. If you guys know, let me know, but that's what I've read online. So getting all of these nodes right here, which are new, final map boss in each map has 8% increased chance to drop a Maven invitation. So that does translate to the formed, or it should. So instead of it being a 16% base chance, it's about a 24% base chance. So almost every single set that you do, you should be getting a formed invitation. And those things are expensive. Those things can be like 40, 50 chaos. So you're saving yourself a lot of money, and you're able to self-sustain them for the most part. So I like those nodes right there. We're obviously always going to be getting all of these nodes right here, which is the effective modifiers. We're always going to be getting the quantity nodes, but we're also going to be doing Essence. Essence is crazy this league for everybody. Literally, whatever build you're doing, doesn't matter. You should probably rush Essences first as you level up your skill tree. And the reason we're doing that is because of the Kirac map mod, which is Essence costs 3 Chaos Orbs, area contains 3 additional Essence. This is actually, I think, what is this the best it's ever been? It's usually 2 Chaos, and you get 2 additional Essence. It's now 3 for 3 additional Essences. That is crazy. So we're going to rush all of the Essence nodes first, and we're going to get them all. They're super juicy. Essences is always very profitable. And you can do them very well with our build, specifically us being boss killers. Some of the essences can be pretty rough, especially early on in a league for some builds, but for our build, at least this boss killing build that I'm doing, it's very easy. You just absolutely annihilate them, get all your essences, move on. It's very quick. So pretty cool. I would rush that first. We also get a lot of stuff like this right here, which is maps found have 50% chance to be 1 tier higher. I do like getting those because it's just making you sustain higher tier maps. We get pretty much every single Abyss node as well. Do you keep that in mind? I think that's pretty much it for the tree itself. We're blocking a few things, but it doesn't really matter too much. The things that we're not blocking, though, are rogue markers, contracts, blueprints, so heist. We're not blocking that just because it's so easy. If you run up to a smuggler's cache, click it, get your loot, move on, right? Very easy. Don't need to block it. Metamorph, same thing. It's going to be a part of your map just because they're so easy to kill, at least in this build, that you're not even going to notice that you're killing metamorphs. And then at the end of the map, you can either choose to do that in metamorph or not. It is going to be a potentially difficult metamorph because it's going to have that shape or guardian. But for my build specifically, not a big deal. Kill it, easy peasy, move on. And then of course we want to not do the Abyss because that is a part of our whole strat here. So this is the tree. As far as the Scarabs that we're running, we're going to be running Gilded Abyss. Now what Gilded Abyss does is it's going to give you more monsters, and it's also going to guarantee that the end of every pit, if it does not lead to a boss room, it will be a Stygian Spire. Are they called Stygian Spire? Yeah, Stygian Spire. So it guarantees the spires. You're going to have so many spires in your maps. It's absolutely crazy. And of course, the Gilded Abyss also comes with an Abyss, right? So you're going to have at least 2 Abysses in all of your maps if you're doing that. And on top of that, we're going to get a third one because of our Sextants here. We're going to have the Sextant for Abyss, which is +1 Abyss. We're going to have the Sextant for Essence, which is +1 Essence, and also 50% chance for your Essences to have Essence, to have the Remnant of Corruption, which is really good. Both of these are very cheap, by the way. I think the Abyss one might go up in price. It might be a little bit more expensive than last league, but we'll see. The Essence one is always cheap just because it's so common. The pack size one. Now this one's interesting. So we're going to run the 25% increase pack size magic pack size Sextant. The reason we're doing that, and it might not be that crazy, first off, it's super cheap. It's very, very cheap. It comes out to like 1 chaos a map. But because of this, I like this. So Abyss cracks in your map have 5% chance to spawn all monsters as magic for each of your pit in the Abyss, right? So if we're getting potentially a ton of magic Abyss monsters, we're now getting 25% more based off of that Sextant. And of course, if that doesn't proc, this Darkness Rising skill thing doesn't proc, then you're still getting a ton of benefit from it because of course there's still magic monsters in your map anyway, right? So that's pretty good. Let's get this back up here. We're also going to be doing I myself am a cold build, right, with Ice Spear Totem, so I'm going to be doing the increased damage taken. It's 12% more cold damage multiplier, basically. I can just kill stuff faster. Easy peasy. And then I already talked about the map rotation itself and what we're farming. Like I said, we're farming those Stygian Belts. We're farming the new Abyss Uniques. We're farming high-level weapons and shields, bases for the skill trees to sell. And of course, we're farming the Guardians themselves. We're farming the Maven invitations. And if we get any of the uniques from any of the Guardians, those sell pretty well in the first few days of League as well. So that's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and move on over to the second tree that we have. This one is for anybody that has less gear, because I feel like the Abysses are going to be a little bit rippy. And especially if you're doing my build, the Freezing Pulse Ice Spear Totem build, I feel like the Abysses, unless you have pretty decent gear, are gonna be a little rippy because we're juicing them up, right? So you want to do some stuff that's not rippy, right? So we're gonna keep essences because that is very easy for our build regardless, and it's so profitable and it's so easy to do with the Kirac map mod, right? But what we're gonna do instead of Abysses is we're gonna do two things. We're going to get shrines, and I like the shrine one because as a lower geared player, these shrines give you buffs, right? It's going to give you different buffs throughout the map, and you actually get 2 buffs based off of this node right here. You get 2 buffs per each shrine that you pick. So usually with this one, you get one free down here, right? Where is it? Hello. Your maps contain an additional shrine, and you're also going to get an additional shrine based off of where are you, sir? One of your sextants that you're using. Your maps contain an additional resonating shrine. You might be wondering what resonating shrines are, and it gives you a whole bunch of different stuff, but mainly it gives you 12, or it gives you, 4 times 4, so 16% physical damage reduction if you're doing my build. Let's just take that because it's a Hierophant, so you always have 4 endurance charges, always have 4 power charges. So you're going to be getting physical damage reduction, you're going to be getting all elemental resistances, you're going to be getting damage, so just a whole bunch of different good stuff that comes with that, and it's a free essence on top of that, right? So of course you would want that, and it's also super cheap. These are usually like 3 chaos, 4 chaos, so it comes out to about 1 chaos a map, so very good for that. Let's see here, let's go back to this. So yeah, we're going to do all the essences, we're going to do all the shrine stuff, and then lastly we're going to do heist. Now the reason I like heist is because it is just so easy. I mean, it's literally a smuggler's cache. You don't even have to kill any monsters. You just open it up, get your loot, and move on, right? It's not the best, like it's not going to give you a ton of currency, but it's so easy and brainless that as a lower gear character, it just makes sense, right? And how you're going to make money out of that is a couple things. You're going to be selling contracts, but for the most part, you're actually going to be selling the blueprints. You don't get them like every map. Every time you get a smuggler's cache, it's not like you're going to get a blueprint, but every other to every 3 smuggler's caches that you do, usually you do get a decent blueprint, and you can sell those for, 10 chaos, 20 chaos, no problem. Like the unusual gems one, you can always sell those for like 20 chaos. Very, very well. I like this node over here as well. It's going to help you get some deception contracts. Yeah, deception contracts, and those sell really well as well. That combos with this right here, this one. Contracts found in your maps have 100% chance to be tier 5 jobs, so it's going to be you're getting really good deception contracts, which do sell for pretty well. And again, this is 100% easy. Is you click it, you open the cache, and you move on. We are going to pair that heist stuff in the tree with the smuggler's cache sextant as well, so it's going to guarantee a smuggler's cache in all of our on all of our maps. And with some of these nodes, it also guarantees, not a guarantee, it gives you an extra chance. If you have a smuggler's cache in your map, you have X% chance to have a second smuggler's cache. You're actually going to be getting a ton of smuggler's caches with that strat right there, and it's super easy. So just to go back over that real quick, the Kirac map mod for both of them is actually going to be Essence. For the easier strat, you're actually not running any Scarabs, so that saves you some money. As far as Sextants, you're going to be running that Resonating Shrine Sextant, you're going to be running the Essence Sextant, and you're going to be running the Smuggler's Cache Sextant. And you can do this strategy, honestly, in any map. It really doesn't matter what you're doing. You could still do it in the map rotation that I'm doing right here. But I feel like once you get to the point where you're able to do this map rotation, you're probably at the point where it's okay to go ahead and do the, you know, the Abyss, the Gilded Abyss. You have enough damage to do it, right? So maybe this one, as you're coming up and you're getting your gear, to then eventually be able to do this one. Maybe that's what you could do. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm going to do for my tree. I will link all of this in the description below. I'm going to probably include this right here in the description. And yeah, that's all I got on this one. You guys let me know if this strat works for you, and also just let me know in the comment section what strats are you guys doing. I would love to hear it. That's all I got on this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.